From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Naira Ahmed. The upcoming federal budget is set to include funding for 1,000 new Canada Border Services Agency officers. Public Safety Minister Gary Ananga-Sangari says the move will cost $617 million over a 5-year period.
These people will do critical work at our borders, ensuring the smooth movement of people and goods, all the while making sure that illegal goods, guns and drugs are stopped and those who are trafficking in them are arrested and charged.
He insists these latest measures have nothing to do with the Trump administration's demands for a crackdown on fentanyl trafficking. It's the latest in a series of announcements by the Liberal government to spotlight measures coming in the fall budget, set to be released on November 4th. India's new envoy to Canada says Canadian businesses should expand trade and investment ties with India now without waiting for governments to sign a formal trade agreement.
Even despite the slight hiccups we have faced in the last 1 or 2 years, trade hasn't slowed down. But to look at it the other way, trade has never reached that heights as should have been between a G7 country and the fourth largest economy in the world. Trade should be much more.
Canada and India have been in trade talks since 2010, paused and restarted more than once before being shut down entirely by Ottawa in 2023. That's when the federal government accused New Delhi of playing a role in the assassination of a Canadian Sikh activist in Surrey, BC. The Carney government has made it a priority to reset relations with India, including a visit earlier this month by Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand to India. Both countries released a joint statement titled Renewing Momentum Toward a Stronger Partnership, mentioning trade multiple times. Justice ministers have wrapped up 2 days of discussions on bail reform and the role of victims in the criminal justice system. Federal Justice Minister Sean Fraser says the meetings in Kananaskis, Alberta, offered an opportunity for every province and territory to address all of the issues in Canada that touch on justice and public safety. The Bank of Canada will have to be humble in its return to formal economic forecasting. Governor Tiff Malcolm made the comments to reporters on the sidelines of the International Monetary Fund's annual meetings in Washington, D.C.
We will be using a new base case projection to look forward. Against the background of heightened uncertainty, we will need to be humble about our forecasts and we will continue to put a lot of emphasis on the risks.
The Bank of Canada intends to push a forecast for the economy, something it hasn't done since the start of this year, as U.S. tariffs clouded the economic horizon. And Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says the province will consider forcing teachers back to work if their strike enters a third week. Alberta teachers have rejected a government request to end its province-wide strike and enter mediation. The president of the Alberta Teachers Association says the mediation process would be biased since the province isn't willing to discuss caps on classroom sizes. The strike is now in its 9th school day, leaving 740,000 kids out of school. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Blue Jays are hoping to keep the momentum going and take their first lead of the American League Championship Series tonight when they face the Seattle Mariners in Game 5. The Jays have won the last 2 games in Seattle by a combined score of 21-6 to tie the best-of-7 series at 2. Game 6 and, if necessary, Game 7 are set for Sunday and Monday in Toronto. The Los Angeles Dodgers can punch their ticket back to the World Series with the win over the Milwaukee Brewers tonight. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers host the CFL-leading Saskatchewan Roughriders, while the Edmonton Elks visit the BC Lions in a pair of key West Division matchups. The Vancouver Canucks visit the Chicago Blackhawks tonight in NHL action, while Ottawa Senators captain Brady Tkachuk is expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks after surgery on his right thumb. He is expected to return by early December, well ahead of the Milan Olympics in February. And the Toronto Raptors host the Brooklyn Nets tonight to wrap up their NBA preseason schedule. From the Canadian Press, I'm Naira Ahmed.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.